Now, what is it going to be used for?
Well, it'll be used for everything. In fact, I don't even think we can begin to answer that question completely,
right.
But in part, we have a lot of answers to the question. First and foremost, this is a place for education, environmental education, but just higher education associated with the daily operation of Jacksonville State University. This is a center for economic development. You'll hear today from folks from Dekalb County Commission, the Dekalb Tourism Association, and others, and everyone recognizes how pretty this region is.
And look at what the asset that we've got that the Lord has given us, the beauty that it is. Not only is this place a beautiful asset to Lookout Mountain, but it's going to be a welcome center to Dekalb County, to Fort Payne, Alabama. It's going to be something that we can be proud of, and not only is this a place that we can show off God's beauty, but it's going to give us the opportunity that we can showcase the other assets that we have here in Dekalb County.
The Canyon Center is really going to round out the total package for Dekalb County tourism, and it especially rounds out the offerings that we've had at Little River Canyon in the past. This facility kind of makes the whole package a reality.
Well, there's never been a focal point, and this building will serve as a focal point where people can come and learn more, not just about Dekalb County, but also about what we call back home in the EPIC office, from the deepest canyon to the highest mountains. And we're proud of that. And through our office at JSU, we've been able to not only create this national park unit. A little bit further south, it was the Duggar Mountain Wilderness Area. And then a little further south, it was the Mountain Longleaf National Wildlife Refuge. Right. And before all of that, there already was the Cheahaw Wilderness. Add all that together, and we have the highest concentration of nationally protected natural areas anywhere in the United States. And that's something that most folks in Toronto or Los Angeles or wherever they might be from, they'd never guess, you know, that the highest concentration of nationally protected natural areas is in northeastern Alabama. Right. So first and foremost, this facility is going to tie all that together and serve as a focal point for ecotourism, heritage tourism, cultural tourism, recreational tourism, and I think it's going to be a catalyst for a lot of things.
Now, the U.S. Park Service is going to have offices here, and really before this was built, they didn't really have a office per se here at Little River Canyon.
That's right. They have an inadequate office, in my opinion, down in Fort Payne.
Right.
It's across the street from Ryan's, next to an abandoned auto lot. And if somebody wants to go hiking up here, they'd have to go down there to get a map and then drive all the way back. One of the things I kind of laugh about, they don't laugh about it anymore, but about every 15 to 20 minutes a train goes by their office. And really, if you're on the phone with a superintendent of the National Park Unit down there in Fort Payne, there are times in that phone call you just have to stop for the ding, 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 ding to pass.
I'm walking out the back door of our offices right now to illustrate a point. GSA rented us office space, and they did the best job they could to find us an efficient, effective place to stay, but unfortunately it is so close to the railroad tracks that every time a train comes by, we have to stop all conversation. If visitors are in the office or if visitors are on the phone, conversation stops. It's a pretty inefficient way to do business. Several years ago, when I first got here, I noticed that we had one National Park Service unit, but basically 3 staffs. Our maintenance staff was located inside the maintenance building in the preserve, and they're the only people that actually go to work in the preserve every day. Our headquarters staff is down here in Fort Payne, 12 miles away from the preserve, and our law enforcement staff is 5 miles away from the preserve in another GSA facility altogether. Pretty inefficient operation. Anytime we want to talk to one another, anytime we want to get together, we have to arrange meetings and so on and so forth. So the relationship between Jacksonville State University and the National Park Service in the development and construction of the Little River Canyon Center has really been instrumental, we think, in giving us an opportunity to make our National Park Service operation a lot more efficient.
So it is a real upgrade for them to go from their urban environment to being right next door to their park unit.
Let's talk about this facility. It's very unique because of the way it's constructed. it's a green facility. What does that mean?
This is a green building in every way, but maybe in the most formal manner, this is a LEED registered building.
LEED stands for Leadership in Environmental and Energy Design. That makes it very different. The level of involvement is exponentially increased as a result of getting involved in the LEED. Another green feature in this facility is this wire, in fact, right here, serves as an occupancy sensor. It will turn the lights on when someone enters the room. Consequently, it will turn them off when they leave, thereby saving electricity. In addition to the occupancy sensors, we also have what is called a CO2 sensor, a carbon dioxide sensor. It lets the systems know when someone has walked into the room. It turns the heating and air on. Otherwise, it shuts it down to a minimal level so that we don't waste electricity in that capacity. We're about 80% complete. We should be 100% complete on August 1. A lot of that, the construction has gone exceptionally well. A lot of that can be attributed to the quality contractor we have on the job, Idson and Associates, who has done a great job involving and immersing themselves in the project.
And with $4 a gallon for gasoline, now more than ever, people are getting it. Right. There was a time in the 80s and early 90s, environmental protection was kind of secondary. But as every magazine putting on their cover, national news is reporting, environmental crises are now international and more problematic than ever. And so solutions and models that would allow others to see how an environmentally effective building works are really needed. And so that's why we decided we would become LEED registered. And at the end of this process, we hope to be LEED certified. And but some of the features that makes this a green and LEED registered building, geothermal, added insulation, minimally impacting the footprint here. There was almost no trees cut down when we built the building because there had been an ice storm and they had already cut trees. So we didn't have to affect the environment hardly at all. We're doing everything we can to be a model for others in making this an environmentally friendly building, but really a fuel efficient building as a part of that.
Right, and understand you even have sensors where when people walk in the rooms, the lights will come on and they'll go off when you leave, and just the technology is amazing.
Yeah, the building kind of has a mind of its own, and but at the same time, this is a high-tech building. We'll have high-speed wireless communications. At the same time, we're going to be, from a technology point of view, we're going to be very advanced. It's going to feel like going back in time. This porch that we're sitting on right now is going to be filled with good old-fashioned rocking chairs. And so the spectrum that we're going to cover is, the person that comes here to participate in some national conference. They can sit in a rocking chair, listen to pine warblers like we're listening to right now, and still have that high-speed internet connectivity.
Yeah, and this porch is not real wood either. This is a composite material. The rocks behind you there are not real rocks. I mean, nobody would ever know because he fooled me completely because I thought those were real rocks when we first came. It's just amazing what they've done here. We
try not to call them fake rocks, although they are fake rocks. Right. We call them the most believable architectural stone, and this fake wood we're sitting on right now is a composite of sawdust and recycled bottles, and it will last longer than most timber products. And now, did it cost a little bit more? Yeah, but only a little bit more. For example, the geothermal system that we're using, that's where we're going to be pumping this fluid down 36 wells that are 300 feet deep or so each. Down deep, the temperature is 57 degrees. And as this fluid goes down to 57 degrees the first time and the second time, the fluid then becomes also 57 degrees. On a hot day, that 57 degrees cools the building. On a cold day, in Alabama, it's in the teens, that 57 degrees, that will help to warm the building just a little bit. Now that cost us about an extra $100,000. It'll pay for itself in about 7-8 years, and then it's all going to be just benefits in terms of cost savings. And so we think it's going to pay for itself 7-8 years, and it's going to save us about 50% on our heating and cooling bills every month.
Right. Do you think this is going to become a model for other buildings in the future?
It's already a model for other buildings, and we're having architects